minute to like hit the live. So then, okay, we're good. Happy Monday, guys. It's Kevin from Canine Freedom Dog Talk, and I'm with my friend Laura. How you doing, Laura?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's always awesome talking to you. I love having conversation, and especially giving you some hugs while you were when I see you at conference. Um, so before we get into our topic, Laura, for those who don't know you, if you want to do a little brief intro of where you're at, what you do, and after that, we can get right into it.
Absolutely. I'm Laura. I am a co-owner of a dog training facility in upstate New York called North Country Paws for Obedience. We have two locations. Collectively, we have over 48 acres of property. We do a lot of fulfillment and enrichment, obedience, private lessons, day train. We have a dock diving pool, a GRC club, a scent club, all kinds of fun stuff. I've owned the business for almost 10 years, and I've been dog training professionally for almost 20 years. Been and just obsessed with dogs for almost my entire life, as long as I can remember. So I
Mm-hmm.
love the industry. I love what I do. I've been a professional member of the ICP for I think going on 12 or 15 years as well. Yeah, it's a great industry to be in.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. I love talking and hanging out with you when I'm at conference. So you always it's always fun to have like great conversations with you. And I forgot, are you going to conference this year or?
I am not going this year. I am hoping to go next year, but this
Mm-hmm.
year, I had to bow out just for my own personal reasons and to spend some time with my family and my daughter. It's going to be hard not to go. This is probably the first year in almost 3 or 4 years, and I'm not going to see my outside community and my outside family, which is really hard because it's a big part of
Yeah.
your life when you become part of the ICP.
No, I agree. It's a like I love the community. I love just catching up to seeing the familiar faces and just talking to the new faces because it's fun just connecting with people, and then what you learned years ago you bring up to someone new, and it helps them on their career as a trainer. So I just like the community, just being able to help out one another, and then I also just love like between the seminars at the conferences and then just being able to kind of grab a beer. Or when I was last conference was like I grabbed hella daiquiris and then just hanging out with other people. So but
Yeah.
but I do I but I will have a drink in your honor when I'm there. So
That's perfect. That's perfect. And hopefully next year I will be able to get back into a conference and get to be able to see everybody and hang out with everyone. And yeah,
for sure, I mean family is important too. Just being able to spend time with them. Because time waits for no man. So
nope.
time waits for nobody, and so enjoy them while you can, especially like because your kids are young, right?
My daughter will be 8, going on 9 this year. So yes, and it's hard to believe that she will be the age that she is. It's gone by very, very quickly, kind of like right in front of my eyes. And she's my
Yeah,
only kid, so spending the time with her before she, kind of hits that age where mom isn't as cool as she is right now.
yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, I think so. Now we're gonna bring up our topic, which is burnout and compassion fatigue. So Laura hit me up with this, wanting to talk about this months ago. So just for the non-dog trainer people and like things like that, right? Like for you, Laura, what is like the burnout and compassion fatigue like mean to you? And like, and also we can talk about like why we wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, yeah. So, burnout and compassion fatigue for me and kind of how I've experienced it, I think in any industry, it's a point in your career or a point in your work where you determine if you are still passionate about what you're doing. Are you waking up and you're just a robot where you're going in and just trying to figure out day to day? Are you in a rut? Are you struggling? Um, I think that a lot of people in any industry, they get to a certain point in their career where they hit burnout or they hit compassion fatigue and they lose sight of their passion. And the whole purpose I wanted to talk about it is that it's okay to feel that, but I don't think that we talk about it enough in any industry, but especially in ours. I think that we have this sense of self-worth and value that we feel like we can fix anything, or we're small business owners, or we're bosses and we're mentors, so that we need to show that we're strong for our clients, we're strong for our employees, we're strong for others around us, so we aren't vulnerable enough.
Hmm.
And we hit these moments of burnout, or we hit these moments of compassion fatigue, and instead of realizing that it's just burnout and it's just fatigue and we can work through it with the community we have around us, we maybe drive ourselves too far deeper into it, and then we lose passion for what we're doing rather than knowing that we can actually, like, we can get out of it. So that's
Hmm.
a big part of it for me, I think, is being able to be vulnerable and talk about difficult conversations with others.
No, that's definitely no for sure. Especially like I can agree. Especially when you feel like you're doing this all by yourself and you don't have like people to talk to. It gets very lonely and you get very discouraged to keep doing what you want to do. And then especially with how crazy things are going on between, I was just talking to a couple of dog trainer friends who we like who literally it was a good example of this where like, I'm like talking to them about like how I'm getting worried where like gas prices going up and then like goods are going up. And so like especially for like a business for like dog training, like I don't think we're like a necessity. We're more like a luxury service because it's
Yeah,
like, like between people who need to put food on the table, pay rent, pay gas, dog training, like training their dog doesn't seem as, you know, important for
needed.
some people, needed for some people. And so it's just like being able to kind of like talk to other people, be like, like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with the same issue, or like here, or like I was having this issue, but here, this is what I did. I hope this helped. Just kind of like talk. I mean, there's like between other stuff too, like because I've worked myself to the bone, like when I was younger, where I was just trying to do everything, like group classes, private lessons, board and train. I was taking every single dog, thinking I could do it all, and then it just got to the point where it kind of hit me, where it's just like it was definitely just like a whole burnout where I bit off more than I can chew,
Yeah.
and it was definitely just a big like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like I start questioning like why am I doing this? Like I'm not like like I don't see the joy of it. At some point where especially when I was just taking like I was like taking dogs, like really intense dogs, and then like I just didn't have a break where like
Yeah.
you're like I'm doing clients that, especially when I was like doing clients like in the day, and I would come back home to the board and train dog, and you just didn't feel like you had a chance to just turn off or just like take a break. And then it's just, I don't know, it definitely, for me, that was like my burnout. Like that was like years ago when I had my first burnout moment. um and also like for people who are listening or watching right now, if you guys have relate to this at all, feel free to comment or anything, say hi while we're chatting. So um but yeah, no, I definitely can relate, like especially where like things is like when you're a small business, when you're a small business owner, and it's just
Yeah.
you. Like, if you get sick and you gotta take a couple of days off, it's like, well, you could the people that you were scheduled, to work with and pay you, you gotta wait another week or two, or like, or if you break a leg or something, where like I'm out for like 3 months, you're like, oh
Yeah.
crap, how do I pay my expenses? How do I pay the bills? Like is definitely scary, especially when it's like just by yourself.
Yeah.
Like it can be, it can be tough, especially like almost have like literally when you're having to handle everything like personal life, business life. It's
Kind of becomes like what I've experienced with it, just talking from my viewpoint with being a business owner in general, your business sometimes becomes your identity of who you are, and that in itself can burn you out. And I know, you take seminars and courses and workshops and all these things to prevent that, but at the end of the day, when you are trying to manage emails at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you're waking up and you're going in, and like in our case, we have staff. I love my staff, but I still manage. I still go in and make sure the days are running the way that they need to do. I'm still answering emails, and my business partners are still answering emails and client issues or complaints. Your business becomes this identity of who you are, and you have this reputation to uphold, and you almost get like an imposter syndrome where you start to feel like, I have to uphold this, and I have to make sure I get back to people. And it can kind of swallow you alive sometimes, where if you don't pull yourself out of it and you don't take a moment to recenter or realign yourself, the burnout it's it's deafening. It
hmm
really takes a toll on it. And everyone's burnout, I think, is different.
hmm
Not everybody has employees, but not everyone is a business owner or works for by themselves. But the identity of a business owner in itself, really, that's mine. That's where my burnout and my compassion fatigue comes in. Is if a staff member calls out last minute, and that's it, I've got to go in and drop everything else that I had for the day, or whatever it is. That's the responsibility and carrying the weight
hmm
of making sure everything is followed through with. It really
yeah,
does get to you. Really,
yeah.
really
I mean,
can get to
yeah.
you.
I know, I agree. I mean, especially where like I feel like most of it, I mean, most dog trainers like we're all kind of either like control freaks or we're just kind of like making sure like we are all like making it extremely smooth, and so like if like I see it like sometimes literally like in my personal life where like if there's a small like if I say okay, here's the plan, we're gonna do this, but then there's a small inconvenience of some sort that I'm just like, and I catch myself or like my girlfriend catches me where it's just like one small inconvenience, then I get a little bit like tickled and I'm just like ugh, and like I don't know, like because yeah, it's like the business just consumes us because it's like sometimes you could be really good dog trainer, but then might not necessarily be a good business owner, or like you have to like I feel I had to do way more learning of just how to run a business, how to like be a business owner, how to like do all the technical stuff, especially since it's either like you're running it and you're doing all the technical stuff for the employees, or you're literally just doing all the technical stuff and booking yourself and like website and everything's on you. Like a lot of pressure, Um yeah, and especially where let's say like if you weren't working, like Laura, I imagine like there's no like backup you that can kind of take the helm when it comes to your business. And then like it just slowly like revolves around us and we're like we it's like our business, like how you said, is like kind of like our identity, and we're just like it's kind of hard to separate it. And that's the thing too where I feel like a lot of like all like we're all like talk about like how hard we grind and like how like how many hours, how many dogs you put in, but I think it's like for me, like I definitely learned a few years ago where like before I wasn't taking any days off, I was just like grinding and like eat, sleep, get back out there kind of thing. But then like as I got a little bit older, I'm just kind of like, man, I really don't have a life outside my job.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to that a little bit.
Yeah.
I would say in the last like year, 2 years, um, I became like I call it a yes hoarder, where over time I yesed everything, like, yes, I can help you, and yes, I can do this, and yes, I'll take on this client, this foster, I'll do this rescue work. And um in the last probably 12 to 14 months, I started saying no more.
Mm-hmm.
And the power of saying no to things to put energy back to what means something to me. I want to put energy into things that give me energy back rather than saying yes to a bunch of stuff to feel burnout by it.
Sure.
I need to take care of myself too. You like me, we've been in the industry long enough to be able to go, I have so much more to learn. I want to be a student again. I want to better myself as a trainer because we can always learn, we can always grow. But if I constantly am feeling burnout, I'm losing my passion for what I love, and I'm losing the opportunities to feel and be a student more, to grow that
Mm-hmm.
passion rather than get rid of it. And I don't want to get rid of my passion for what I do. I love what I do. I love everything I've accomplished up to now, but there's still more for me to be able to do in my career. It's a career. It's not linear. It's there's so many other things I can do within it. But being able to say no a little bit more in healthy ways and healthy boundaries, I think trainers are like that too. We get stuck in saying yes to things over time, and we don't realize how many things we've said yes to, um, whether it's our personal lives or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and not being able to prioritize what's truly important to us, and seeing what people are who is trying to help us more. Who's in our life to be a mentor, to be able to support us in our career path, and who maybe is not there to help support us and give energy back to us. I think that's important. And
Yeah.
then like self-love, being able, for me, it's taking an hour every single day and doing something that has nothing to do with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, taking an
Mm-hmm.
hour to do something that I put my phone down, it has nothing to do with anything with my business. It's
Yep.
completely unrelated to dogs. Um, but if I
Yeah.
don't do that and it collects over time, it can cause that compassion
Yep.
fatigue and that burnout.
Yeah, I mean, like, I no, I totally agree. I mean, like, I was like talking to like I talked to like a friend. I was like talking to like my friend Carrie, and like we literally talk about how like we're so used to saying yes, but also at the same time we're like she kind of came up with this reference where like we give out too many spoons, and it just like right like between we're giving several spoons out to clients, and then sometimes with like certain people is just like we're giving more spoons, and like if we it's like by the end of it we have no spoon to kind of we're really out of spoons, or our cup is like empty, because we run ourselves dry. And yeah, no, I agree, because like for me, like especially like I've talked to Heather back, and like we she she's emphasized do something that's not dog training so you can go back and enjoy dog training, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like for me it's like I'm such a busybody. I feel like, because like I literally tell this people all the time, if I'm not working, I'm adulting. If I'm not adulting, I'm working. So like adulting, like I'm cleaning the house, or I have to get I have to work on the car because I'm driving all over the place, or like I all this stuff. But like for me, just sometimes just being able to kind of do something that I enjoy. Like I play trading cards. I go on weekends. I play trading card games and be a nerd. So that's how I get to. That's my break from training. But also too, like sometimes I just need a day, or sometimes I just need a few hours where I can just sit on my bed and just do absolutely nothing, or just like sit on a field with my dogs and just look at blue skies, watch my dog run and play ball, and then just breathe and just exist,
Yeah.
because our brains are just literally all over the place. It's just like from one brain here, okay, cool, I gotta call these 3 clients right now, and then one brain here, oh, that's right, I gotta schedule these 3 clients for their appointment. Oh, client, these clients over here canceled, and then I gotta reschedule them, or I gotta feed my kid, I gotta feed my 5 dogs, I gotta do, and everything's like everyone comes to me, and you're just like, just
Yeah.
overwhelmed by that stuff. So I like to just be able to kind of just like separate myself and just give myself time to kind of veg out and just breathe. But I do always try to make sure I have like some time to like do hobbies or just like take the opportunity to go and learn something new, just so I can like, I don't know if this is how you feel too, where like sometimes like instead of I'm having to tell people what to do, sometimes I'm okay with someone instructing me on what to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, you're in charge of you decide what's gonna happen. Like you're in charge of it. I don't have to direct. You just tell me what to do. Okay, cool. You know?
I don't have to make
Um,
any decisions today. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
yeah, just because it's like I think between like you and I, like the way we run our business or when we instruct our clients, we're so used to like instructing everything or being like, okay, like yeah, I'll take care of this. Yeah, I'll plan this or I'll book this. Instead, it'd just be nice where like I have someone be like, "Hey, I booked us, I booked us a place here, dress like this, do A,
Just
B, and
show up.
C, just show up," and I'm like, done.
You
I
got it.
can
I can
do,
do that.
I can absolutely do that.
It's
If
ironic you said the thing about something different. A mentor of mine when I first got into the industry, he had told me in order to continue to always love dog training, every month learn something new that has absolutely nothing to do with dog training. So go and learn how to garden or go to a baking class or an aqua aerobics class and do something every month or every other month, but find things that challenge you in a way that doesn't challenge you in the dog industry,
hmm
because it'll come back and it'll help you in some way to explain something better to a client. It'll keep your mind sharper. It'll help you to better understand a different direction or a different perception of, or in a different approach of how you want to work with a client or with a dog, because we get complacent. We get stuck sometimes, especially when we're burnt out. We go into almost every situation expecting it to have the same result as the past, and that's how I know, or I see my staff burnout, is when they start to see the same situation happening. Or for me, if I start to go, well, I guess it's just going to be another one of those days, that happens over and over for me. I go, whoa, like it's not that I don't like my job, it's not that I don't like my career or what I'm doing. I'm tired, I'm burnt out, I need to take a step back and reevaluate some things, do something fun, go for a hike, go enjoy my kid for the day, go do something different and refresh myself. And 99% of the time I come back and I'm like, wow, I needed to go to that baking class, or I needed to go and learn about butterflies for the day. And it resets your nervous system. It resets what you were trying to think about. Versus we're human nature. We like negativity. We like the drama. We can't go into a situation and say like it's a beautiful day today and then vent about it. But if we go like it's a rainy day, oh yeah, rainy days suck, oh man, like I just can't believe it, and then it just vents and it feeds negativity. But if we created more positive environments and we created more successful stories and uplifted ourselves more, we'd kind of get ourselves out of those ruts too. And I find that right now, especially in our dog communities, we're almost kind of like on edge, waiting for the next thing to happen so that we can all jump in and talk about it, rather than uplifting ourselves and uplifting each other with what we're already doing successfully, what we're already doing really well.
yeah,
Um, and that I think too, and we can uplift each other and we can pull each other out of these little burnout ruts and point out the good things. Like, I had this really awful client today and it sucked. Okay, well, what was one good thing that happened today? And then every single day point out better things
yeah,
and better successes. Compassion fatigue and burnout, it kind of just gets thrown out the window. Then we can start to see that we're still passionate about what we do. It's just being more aware of what we need to be aware of in our day-to-day lives. And dog training is great. I love my business. I love what I do every day, but it's not who I am. It's not my identity. It's
Hmm.
a part of who I am. And making sure so many people know that, I think that's also, as business owners, we need to reinforce that. Even with clients, like we have needy clients. Every business
Sure.
has needy clients, but it's not who I am every moment of every day, too.
Yeah, yeah, it's not like I wake up first thing and then like I'm like thinking about like how I make this dog sit or something like that. Or like I feel I had it and I lost it as I was opening my mouth. But yeah, just to like just the fact where we have like just sometimes it's like it's so much easier to just complain about stuff and like I always tell people like don't let one thing ruin the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And I think just I also just listen to different podcasts like Mel Robin, Mel Robbins, and just like ever like a bunch of like kind of those motivational speakers where like right like the more you manifest like that negative, kind of thing, you're more likely to attract that more than the good stuff. So I'm always just trying to uplift myself, be like, today's gonna be an awesome day. Today I'm gonna have some awesome clients to work with, or like or I or I talk about like a highlight. Like I look like today's highlight was this.
Yeah.
Today's high. I had a great time with this, and then at the end of the day, I'm always like, especially for business owners like you and me, I'm always like, shoot, you had a long day today. Go treat yourself. Go get like a soft serve from McDonald's, or
Yeah.
like for a long work week, like let's go to let's go get like a nice surf and turf, just to pat yourself on the back. Because especially we're like right, like I love having my I love having my friends that I can just like go somewhere, eat, and then just
Yeah.
like just talk to, just be like talk about life, just talk about like like see how everyone knows, and then kind of like uplift everybody and not just look at the next drama that's happening on Facebook, look at or like looking at like what's going on like with the world, just being able to kind of like I think especially where I feel better when I have friends that kind of like vent to, and then like just being able to kind of like give exchange ideas and just
Yeah.
being able to kind of like see like, okay, I'm gonna go with your idea, I'm gonna go with your ideas, and then like especially when you get stuck with your head, you get stuck in your own head, and you're kind of like in this little hamster wheel, but you're not thinking of like new ideas. Sometimes you need like a fresh perspective, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um just because I feel like just because sometimes I'll get it too deep in my head, and then I'm not like thinking, I'm not thinking outside the box, but then all of a sudden my friend will just hit me up, be like, why don't you try this? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Like 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 recently, because I don't know, especially since I live in California where it's like everything's expensive already, so then gas being like almost $6 a gallon
Mm.
is just utterly crazy. And I'm trying to figure out like how to promote the business and just how to like try to work on getting more clients and things like that. And then I was hanging out with an attorney, like we're in a business association together, so we went in for coffee. And then she talked about apartments. So she's like saying like, oh yeah, there's a lot of apartments with like who are dog friendly and things like that. And I'm like, wait, what if I go to different rental companies and like, different apartments, just be like, hey, I'm a dog trainer. If you have a tenant that needs help, would love to help your tenants out, if I could give you my information to refer. And I think about that, I was like, oh, why didn't I think about that? And it was because like I spent talking with someone, and it just it just came out, the idea just came after the conversation. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. I think
So
it's important for us as trainers and handlers and us in the industry to revitalize ourselves and be able to go and talk to not be ashamed or nervous to ask for help. I think trainers in general, we all have not a problem, but it's hard for us to ask for help.
Yep.
But also, I think it's that situation of being able to say, I need fresh ideas. I need to be motivated again. I am struggling with this dog. Maybe you can look at this video and see what I need a little bit more of a fresher perspective on. And being able to have a community that's not just right here local, but being able to branch out and not put it on social media because we know where that typically leads to, but being able to be vulnerable enough to go and ask others for the advice that we need and the support that we need. And maybe it's not even dog training wise, maybe it's just personal where it's like, hey, I'm having a rough couple of weeks, or I'm really feeling just like and I need someone to talk to.
Yep.
Again, like I think some trainers get out of the industry because they never asked for help when they needed to, or they didn't see the people that around them that were trying to help them. Where most of us, we're all in it for the right reasons. We're all in it because we want to help dogs have better lives. We want owners to understand the capability of being able to better themselves too. But we just need to be able to support one another more and be able to be seen when we are at a burnout place or we are at compassion fatigue.
Yeah.
Being able to reach out to that person rather than like, oh, well, I don't know, they're tired or if they're burnout, I don't get it. Being able to reach out to that person and go, hey, like, I see you. I see that something's going on. Let's figure it out together. Why don't you take some time or go do something fun, or how can I help you with that? I think it's so important for us as a community, for each other to do that, to be there to support one another.
Yeah, no, definitely just being able to support one another, but also just like right, I think just setting boundaries as well, or like I feel I feel during my time like going from like years ago doing dog training till now, like it definitely like sometimes you're gonna have to say no to certain. You're gonna have to be like, hey, I can't help you and your dog, but I can refer you.
Yes.
I can refer you to someone that I know who is better skilled that can take your situation, like cuz sometimes I'm sure you'll get clients who are just like here's my money, fix my dog without
Yes.
me doing the work, or like right just being or like doing the bare minimum, or just like right like and for us is like we want to do what's best for the dog, and then like and there's just some clients that it's like if I take on this money, I'm gonna have to deal with a I'm gonna have to like work with this person, because especially we're so used to saying yes, we're so used to just, at least for me, I take care of everybody but myself. I always put myself last sometimes, where I gotta make sure, like I make sure I have to take my dogs out, play ball, or like get the exercise, get them fulfilled, like, and I'm that kind of, and I make sure they take care. I make sure if my friends hit me up, they need help, I help them out. And sometimes when my clients need me, I go out of my way, and then my girlfriend, and then I'm just like spread thin, and it's just like that's why that's why I just appreciate just having time to myself, just being able to be like, give yourself a pat on the back, be like, good job. But then also just being able to kind of like I think with most trainers, and I say most or some, have a bigger ego, or like just like it, and like for me and like for you, right, like I spent, like I think this is gonna be my ninth year in business, and like just starting off from like 2017, but like I did everything from the ground up. I just Everything was me. So then when I actually need to ask for help, or sometimes I ask my parents for a little financial help, it just makes me be like, ugh, like I don't want to do this, but like but sometimes I feel like it's okay. I have to tell myself it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to like just you know ask for it, because it's just not in this. It's not just you. Like you have a whole like I have so many friends. I have you. I have like a lot of the ICP members. I have my high school friends, and my mom and dad are always around. So it's just like just being able to kind of talk about it or just communicate the help is always really important. Sometimes it's yeah, you're like how you said, it's really
It
hard to do that
is.
sometimes.
I think it's hard too to see that as business owners and trainers and all of us, it's not perfect right from the start. Like I look back at how I trained 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. There's so many different parts of me that adapted and grew and made different decisions and learned different mythology and things that I would have done now than I didn't do then. We're always going to have those moments, but that's what makes the journey so important. It's what makes it so incredible to continue to want to learn. If we if we stop wanting to learn, then you just should quit the industry because you're not passionate about it anymore. If you always want to learn something new and you're always motivated by someone when they give a little bit of critique or they are trying to talk to you about something or you're training your dog and you want to figure it out, if you ever get to a point where you go, yeah, I just don't care anymore, like that's just sloppy, or it's just you're beyond burnout by that point. You're
Yep.
beyond the point of wanting to help anyone at that point. And I think that I mean that's for any industry. It's not even just our dog training industry. It's that if you get to a point where you just don't feel it anymore, it probably should just take a step back from it. And I mean that's the whole point of wanting to grow and wanting to go on this journey. And businesses, none of us are made overnight. We have to work really hard to get to where we're at. My business partner and I, we started in 2017 too, and we started from bare minimum nothing. And I mean nothing. Like we didn't pay
Yep.
ourselves for the first 2 years, 2.5 years of the business, a single paycheck. Everything got invested back into the business. Um, and we've had to adapt and shift and change. COVID hit, we had to shut down for a couple months. Same thing. We had, as owners, we had employees. Our employees are always the first to get paid. So if something happens, we we are the ones that kind of don't get paid if something happens. And
Yep.
business owning is not easy. If it was, everyone would do it. This past year, we moved our entire primary location to a new location and had to do construction. And I will never do that again. Talk about learning to hate your business and fall in love with it again was this past year for me personally. Um, Definitely moments when I just hated my business, not because of the business itself, just the process of moving and being told that it's going to be done in 6 months and it took almost a year, and telling your clients that we're going to move and you're not. I mean, it sucks, and you
Yep.
lose every time you go into a different chapter, you lose a little bit, but you gain so much more from it.
Yep.
All these little chapters and milestones we go through, it makes us a better person. When I started as dog trainer, I was more of the people pleasing, quiet, shy yes person that's, okay, whatever we want, we'll fix it. We're going to work on that. And I think of myself now, and it's like, no, I have boundaries. I love speaking. I love educating. I love going to conferences and talking, like at Barkley and all these places. Um, I'm definitely not as much of a people pleaser as I used to.
Nope.
There's good money and bad money, and I don't need someone's money just to have them in my facility. I have standards, and it's so important, but still get burnout, still have
Yeah.
fatigue sometimes because we're human.
Oh yeah. No, like literally I went from like having, which I mean, starting the business, I was super cheap, and like it's just crazy. I always like tell myself like, how the heck did I go from nothing? I left Petco and then I started my own business, and like here I am at 9 years of business. It's just insane. And that's the thing where like as fast as you can start a business can crumble like really fast if you don't take care of yourself. And especially like with like some clients who are like few years ago, I would have been like, okay, cool, I'll work with your dog for like $50. But then, like, right, like if you hire me and like you're gonna have like this really reactive, like 80-pound dog that you cut that done this for like 5 years, and we didn't get a trainer until now because the Karen next door called animal control, and then you're just like, and then you just come up to me and be like, hey, he's been doing this for 5 years, but I would love to take him to the beach with bare minimum training and no tools and things like that within a month. And I go, no, you are. I'm like, I can. That is an expectation I do not give anybody, and I'm like, like that's. I don't want that extra pressure on me, especially when like I tell my clients, I'm like, hey, we need. I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee
Yeah.
results. Like everybody. It's like for me, I want to build boundaries in the sense where like I'm like I'm like, listen, like I can't. I'll take a phone call. I'll call you if there's something come up, but like I'm not gonna. If tomorrow's my day off and you hit me up for work, I'm like no, I need the day to actually take care of myself. Especially as like I want to have quality time with whether I try to call my mom or dad who are in the East Coast. I'm here, or if I want to talk to, or just I have so much business brain that's like if someone send me an application or like someone calls me or texts me, I'm just on it, and then like
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like make sure all my chats are like read, and like I like see if it's important or not. And then like my girlfriend like she literally just like she'll just see me constantly just what to do next, and never just like and
Stop.
just
It's hard to
multitask.
just turn off.
Yeah, I feel like the dog that's like you need to step on the leash to like and
Tethering.
do a
We need to tether
tether,
sometimes.
or I need a J Jack rub down, just to like just be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Just, yeah. And I think
Just
it's hard to we cultivate the environment around us too. We cultivate the people, and I think one of the most empowering things that brought me and some around me out of burnout was being able to set stronger boundaries, set better business hours, and be able to tell clients like you see yourself as one person, but you're one of my clients. I need to set healthy boundaries for you. I can't get back to you at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, because if I set that standard for you, then I set that standard for every other client that I have. I want to cultivate a community within my business that adores and loves the training that we do and appreciates it, but also respects it and respects the boundaries that I have for my business and
mm-hmm.
respects you're not paying for my time, you're paying for my reputation, you're paying for my experience, my certifications, my knowledge, and my experience. But then you're also putting in just as much time and effort into the training I'm giving you back. And it goes back into cultivating and fostering an environment where I want clients and I want staff that crave wanting to learn and wanting to grow, and being
Mm-hmm.
able to accept that we work with pet people. Pet people are going to follow through with 60 to 75% of what you give them. I will put 110% into every lesson I do and the dog that I work with the exact understanding that I'm working with pet people that when they go home at the end of the day, they're moms, they're dads, they have children, they have work, they work a 9 to 5 job, and then they go home and they do the sports thing or they do the grandkids thing, and they have lives that aren't trainer lives. We're dog
Yep.
trainers. We make our lifestyle fit dogs, where your typical pet people, they don't do that. They don't create an environment that is conducive to what high expectations are. So and that can lead to burnout, in my opinion, too, is that when
Sure.
trainers set such high expectations for clients over and over and over without accepting that you've got to know that your clients have lives that aren't dog trainer lives.
Yeah. 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 Even just like with me, where like when I had like it's like we have 5 dogs in the because I have my roommate has two and I have three. Like when I was younger, I'm just like, oh, yeah, like I love having a pack of dogs. It's so cool. And then just like I get to like I don't know, it was just like more of a flex, I guess. And then now here I am, I'm like, holy shit, like I gotta buy dog food for this many dogs. I have like 5 different vet appointments I have to go to, and then like I gotta exercise all these dogs at different rates and things like that. And then it's just like I love like don't get me wrong, I love my dogs, like I do. But sometimes there are just days where I'm like, damn, I wish I had a cat. I wish I just had like I'm like all these they're like my dogs are a little bit needy too, and it's funny. But sometimes I'm just like I'll have some days that I'm like, damn, I wish you were a cat. I wish you were just a cat that I didn't have to go exercise, take on a hike or a walk or a wall. I can just like do some enrichment in the house or something.
Get a little catnip for it.
Catnip or like I don't need to pay for boarding or like overnight dog sitter. Like, hey, just show up, make sure my cat clean the litter box, make sure she
He's
gets
fed.
fed. My cat doesn't. My cat's okay. He'll just look at the window at the birds.
Yep.
He'll just swat. He'll just sleep and just do his thing. And you're just like, uh, and that's just like
We
some of
do.
my thing.
As trainers, we again, it goes back to like we say yes to so much. And then as we get older, as we get further along in our career, we take this step back and we're like, wow, I said yes to a lot of things. Now I need to prioritize really what's important to me, who's important to me. For me, it was stepping back and saying, who puts energy back into what I'm passionate about? Who's putting energy back into me? And then putting energy into people that surround me, like my staff. I love educating my staff and mentoring my staff. I love putting energy back into my community. Our business is a very large community-based business too. We go to a lot of community events and help out rescues. We have a prison program. um, those are parts that make me feel good and they give energy back. So it's when you yes so much and then you start to go like, wow, I'm burnout, I have a full plate. It's not just going like, yeah, this feels ugly today, so I don't want to do it. It's going and saying, what really makes me feel good? And sometimes what I tell some of my people that I coach, and sometimes even my staff, I'm like, go back through your Facebook pages or your social media and revisit pictures and revisit things that you did 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and re-energize yourself that way, because you'll find the things that you're always passionate about in your memories. Things that always burn you out, you're never going to post about because you don't want the world to know. We post perfect things in our social
Hmm.
media, things that make us feel good because we feel like they're going to make everyone else feel good. So we post things that are feel good on social media.
Yeah,
And then things that we felt ugly about, we might post, but because we were angry about it, we wanted a reaction from everyone else. So go back in your
yeah,
social
we
medias and see what it is that made you feel very good, and then go back and see things that you don't need in your
yeah,
life anymore.
yeah.
See
There's
if that
definitely
gets rid of
time.
your burnout.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely times where like I just wanted attention or something like that, or I just vented online about certain things, and like sometimes I feel good. I mean, sometimes it's like if I'm not completely like shit posting, it's literally just like a rant or maybe just like something, and then when I have people who are like say I totally relate to you, I totally get it, kind of thing. Sometimes it's nice that you're not alone, and then I love
Yeah.
when I have people that are like, hey Kevin, hit me up, if you have this issue again, would love to talk about it. And it's like you especially as like when you find the friends and when you find the people that lend a hand when you didn't ask, and it's just like it's so nice, like this like even over here, like my friend, I met Melissa right here at a J Jack workshop in SoCal, and then she just moved 2 hours away from where I'm at. So she said, "Yeah, she's like, yeah, we've been struggling over here to get clients. That's a great idea about putting yourself in apartment complexes. Where I live, there's a Facebook community, and yeah, no, Melissa, like definitely if you can get yourself in that community and just put yourself out there or like put a video or something, like you definitely can't. Like I think that'll help because but I think just being able to like I gave them a bunch of business tips and I'm like for me I gave some ideas that I thought would be cool what I learned and then they I gave to them and then I just said like hey anytime you want to hit me up or text or like brainstorm like feel free to him because I love supporting other people. Like
Yeah.
I said, I give like I said, I will give all my spoons and I will just run dry. But like especially for like the people that I cherish or I appreciate, like I because especially where like between I never because like for me like as a business owner like I would as much as I want to be like charge you like 3 grand for a training program things like that I'm still like me that I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm like, hey, listen, I know this place over here charges 3,000 for dog training, but I pay, but for me, I only charge you like a quarter of that. It's like,
Yeah.
like I would do what's best for your dog. I'm not a one size fit all person, but like, I will, if you want to if you put in the work and you make you kind and then you kind of and you tweak a little bit to help the dog be satisfied in life, and then we do the training. I got you. I will put in 100% of my time. Unlike the people we talked about, where some clients like we it's like the bat. It's like they just we take the money just cause like I don't.
Yeah.
I call it. I consider that I call it blood money, where it's just
Yeah. I
like
call it bad money.
yeah,
Yeah.
just bad money. I'm just like okay, it's like me getting a Cheerio to do like a whole Schützen course, kind of
Yeah.
thing where like I'm gonna get this much, but I at the end of it, I'm gonna look at myself like this was not worth the money because
Well,
of
and
how
I started I used to get really upset when I would do a private lesson program and or a program in my business and I'd give so much homework. I'd give like 4 to 6 to 8 things and like here you have to do this, every single day. You have to follow through, find a training time. And I started getting burnout because they'd come back a week later or, their next training lesson and they'd come back and they would go, you know what, like I got through like half the stuff you gave me, but I didn't get through all of it. In your head you're sitting there like, why couldn't you? I could do that. There's absolutely no reason. There's no excuse. Then I became
hmm
a mom. And I became a mom of a kid that um I love her to death, but she's a headstrong, wonderful, brilliant, hyperactive ball of energy kid. And as my kid got older and got into sports and school and this and that, and her needs needed doing that more and more, I started going, holy crap. I'm like, that explains why clients come back and they're like, I didn't get to X, Y, or Z. So I started revisiting how I approach my clients and I go, hey, I want you to accomplish 3 things out of this lesson. And you're going to integrate it into your everyday life. And it's going to take you 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes a day. And that's it. And you can see the clients go like, oh, wow, that's it. And I'm like, yes, that's it. And it might take us a little bit longer to accomplish your goals, but you can accomplish them because it's realistic for you as my client over I expect you to do 2 to 3 hours worth of homework every single day and you're going to come back next week and you're going to feel absolutely demotivated and defeated. I'm going to be frustrated because we got nowhere with the dog
yep
in a week. Where now if I can give you achievable and attainable goals and homework every week, you come back, every 2 or 3 days you come back and you feel much better about it. And they have this sense of accomplishment. And I understand that you are a living creature that has a life outside of your dog that you're coming to train with me. it took
Hmm.
away a lot of this high expectation I had for clients and the frustration I was building to come back and almost like not scold clients, but get demotivated by it and go like, I can't believe that they can't do this. You know, you almost start to blame clients. And I think that there are some trainers, they have a one size fits all. If you don't do it, then you can't do it. Or younger trainers that are still learning to work through that experience. It's not that people don't love their dog any less because they can't follow through with every single thing. It's that people live a life and you have to find a way to work it into their life and go from
Yep.
training your dog every single day to teaching owners how they can live with their dog every day. It's not just training them, it's living with them. And when we can jump from that, we also prevent burnout on our end because then we all feel accomplished, we all feel successful, we all feel
Yeah.
good at what we're doing, which is important.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just the just like what I love about Jay is just like the clarity. Just it's like how what's the clarity between you and your dog at home and then the relationship and especially where I rather give you 2 to 3 things to work on and focus on and put 5 minutes or 10 minutes into a little bit every day than to give you like 10 things
Yeah.
and I see you next week and you have 3 children or you have or you work a very high demanding job and or you do graveyard shift and all those factors where like for me it's like I definitely learned how to just bring down like that expectation and just be more flexible where I can
Yeah.
be like
Adaptable.
I
Yeah.
yeah just adapt and just be like I'd be like if they told me they couldn't do all the homework, I'd be like, "All right, no problem. We like it's all good. I totally get it. We can just do a refresher today, or like we just give like for the when we after we're done, we won't add more homework. We'll just have you just focus on that. And if you can, and if you wanna, and if you feel like you want to get more homework, just hit me up, and then I'll tell you what we can do. But right, just be like, because sometimes like for me, especially where I learn, or like this year, where like if with the economy where like everyone's hurting, that's where
Yeah.
it's like, especially the small businesses like you and I can be hurting too because especially where like usually for me I'm usually trying to sell like for lesson pro like private lesson programs and like they're a couple $100 and like for me it's like it keeps me going like makes me financially secure but at the same time where like I forget to look on the other side of the shoe where like if this if people are like kind of struggling and just getting by it's like like I talked to another dog trainer like near me and we just talked about it and I just thought it and I just kind of was like what that does make sense and so I
Yeah.
just learned to be flexible where like I just said hey if you're not in a if you're not in a situation where you want to fully financially commit like if you want to just pay me like per lesson and I know you really want to work you really need help with your dog like and you want to put in the work like I got you you know
Yeah.
um
Still
especially
having
where
commitment, but understanding, being compassionate, empathetic, and still being able to see it from their viewpoint. I mean, I think we all get stuck in. I think you had said at the beginning of the podcast is we're all very type A people. We're very controlling people. And I think
yep
we forget to take a step out of that and look at it from another viewpoint of, okay, I can't control what I can't control when that client leaves my building. And I
yep
also have no control of what their life looks like and how they run their day. I can give them all of the tools. And at least if I know I've done that, I've done a good job. I've been a good trainer. But the best thing I can ask my clients is to follow through 75 to 80% of the time with everything. But I know that even me as a person, I'm a very type A person. I put everything that I can into what I can,
Mm-hmm.
and I will give 110%. But life happens, lifes, and there are times when we have to go, hey, like I just didn't get to it because, and holding
Yep.
ourselves accountable. And that's okay. And bringing our expectations down then helps us to understand too, like, yeah, I'm human too. And if I were on that client's shoes and I had 3 kids and they all had sports and dance recitals and graduations, okay, like I get it.
Yep.
But they're here and they're trying to seek out help. We're very similar. We're not quick fixers at our facility, so um, we won't take on a client that isn't willing to put in any effort at all or anything below like 40 or 50% effort. I won't. I'll refer you out.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we have to also be understanding of what we're asking of them too. How much are we asking them to change and adapt their life? It's not just a behavior modification for the dog. Sometimes you're also trying to do a whole behavior modification on a person.
Mm-hmm.
And being aware of that, you have to take a step back and go, wow, I am asking this person to now have to crate their dog and they haven't in months, or to tether their dog every single day and they have always let the dog sleep in their bed and on their couch and this and that. It is shifting a person's behavior just as much as the dog behavior. And if we have too high of expectation, of course we're going to get burnout. So we have to be able to be mindful of that. And again, reach out to others too for support around you and be able to see that there's probably 2 or 3 other people around us that are trying to give us the support that we need, and ask for help. I struggle with that. I will be the first to admit I
Yep.
struggle with asking for help when I need it too.
Yeah. And and that's the thing. Like I wouldn't have known that until like now. You know, you and I talked about it. Like what I feel like for most dog trainers who are like the type A personality, I feel like we're the really tight we're like we're like the really tight box that like we need like we're like that really tough Kong that like we stuffed ourselves and then like it takes like a minute for the dog and like we open up. You know, it's just like and yeah, it's just like sometimes once you get past that threshold and like you kind of like go, you know, hey, I need some help. You just feel better just because like you can just you also just see like who's out there for you, like who's
Yeah. We
but
need a workshop on this, on how to help dog trainers ask for help. We always offer help, but we need a workshop on teaching trainers to know when they need to ask for help too, for sure.
oh 100%. You know what? You know what? This might be a cool. That might be a cool idea. If like if you wanna, if you and me want to collab, you want to do this. I like it.
Offering to tell people when they need help.
Yeah, you know, like this might be a underdog kind of workshop. This might be. I feel like there might be a good ton of trainers that might be like come up, and I'm like, you know, like you know, Laura and I can do this.
Help someone understand when they're, because you, the thing with burnout too is there's so many tell signs of it before you hit it. And you, a lot of people will suppress down, oh, I'm fine, I'm just tired, I haven't gone on a walk or a hike in a while, that's okay, I'll get to it. And you see it coming. We all know the signs of it. We all know when we're getting frustrated, when we're not as motivated. It's just usually there's 1 or 2 things that make us as a human being snap where we're like, okay, that's it, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. It's those moments where you go like, but why don't you want to do this? It's not, it's like trigger stacking, like look
Yep.
at layered stress model and trigger stacking in dogs, apply that to a human being. It all adds up to us knowing when we are actually burnout versus when we're kind of over thresholds.
Mm-hmm.
If we did those little assessments on ourselves every 3 months, it would probably prevent burnout pretty fast too.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, sometimes too, we just work ourselves to the bone. And we don't give ourselves time to rest, or like we get frustrated. So like for me, like I have so many. I love just having goals. Like I mean, for me, like I want to go to Japan, or like I want to go like I want to do all these fun stuff. Like there's a even there's like my friends. I have a friend who invited me for their wedding in Hawaii, like in October, and I'm like, I really want to go back to Hawaii. But then it's just like, it's like everything costs money, especially
Yeah.
Japan and Hawaii. And I'm like, well, I need money, but like, I don't get paid enough just to get by the rent in California. I'm just like, okay. So, it's just like, just trying to find that time in between where like, like just being able to say like, I'll get to the, like, just be able to like do the thing you like, and then the other stuff that like have you just hovering over your head. I'll be like, I want to be able to just be like, I'll get to that later. I've got, I literally had that one Facebook post that I made like a couple weeks ago where I was just like, I'm like, sorry, I got a meeting. I got a meeting with me, myself, and I.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
being able to be like, like, oh, I took myself out for lunch. I took myself out to treat myself. Then I went to take some fresh air. Then I got to do something I enjoy. Then I come back, and like for me, like I love a good just vegging out in my bed and just watching my favorite shows. Like I'm like watching Dutton Ranch right now, and
So are we.
oh yeah,
So
it's
good.
so good. It's
Oh
so
my
good.
God. I think it's better
Like,
than I might have to say it's a little bit better than Yellowstone.
you know what? Like
I saw
it,
Larry Crone said that too, and I was like, Larry, you might be right. You might
I'm
be
like,
right.
no, he'd be right. And then it's like season one, two versus season one versus like a whole seven season, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yep.
Like,
But it's stuff like that. Like, I think again, it goes back to clients and other trainers and all of us who we see our things on Facebook and social media and TikTok and all of those things. We're always seen as our business. It's, hey guys, like we're trainers too. We watch shows. We do things outside of dog things. Like I don't come home and obsess over dog stuff. I read dog books, I watch dog videos, I do seminars and workshops.
yeah,
Absolutely. But I also have a life outside of this. It's not my identity. I have fun things that I do too. So, and it's fun to
yeah,
talk about it outside of dogs all the
yeah.
time.
No, for sure. Oh, hey, oh my roommate just got back home. The dogs are just barking from that. So, but yeah, no, I mean, like we're all regular people at the end of the day. Like, it's like I don't live and breathe dog training like as much as people think. It's just like literally, it's like when I'm not, if I'm not training dogs, I'm literally like I'm just being a nerd, just playing Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering, and like even just like watching anime. That's just my thing. Like I like being a
Yeah.
nerd, and
And
some
honoring ourselves for that. Like we should be able to honor who we are and what we do and what we enjoy outside of dog training and being the best versions of ourselves is so important because that's also what prevents us from getting to a state of burnout or getting to a place where we don't enjoy what we do because we wouldn't have gotten into it if we didn't enjoy it to begin with. So
yep,
we've just got to remind ourselves that every single day that I'm a person, it's not my identity, but I love it. It's a
mm-hmm.
huge part of who I am. But here's something that I want to do coming up this weekend or next month, and I'm going to make time for it. I went to a workshop once where the speaker, I think his name was Fernando. One thing that I took away from it that I loved was he would book out every 2 to 3 months and he would put in his scheduling walks and family time. And that way nothing ever got overbooked with it.
Yeah,
And it's, if you get to that point where you're feeling that burnout or that stuck in a rut or that much of a yes person where you can't say no because we get stuck, we get routine based, then start to put things in your calendar where then if you live by a calendar like mine, I have my Google Calendar that I essentially live by, but you put it into your phone or whatnot and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm booked that day. then you never forget to take your hour to yourself that day, or to take the hike that you want, or to do the sunrise walk or the sunset walk that you wanted to do, or to write poetry or whatnot. Put it in. And then it becomes a habit, it becomes a routine for you over time, and you can break whatever rut a person's in too. And then you get out of compassion fatigue and burnout, and you start fresh. You build a better version of yourself while still loving your career and loving your job and loving dog training. And your dog training gets better because of it too,
Yep.
because you love every aspect of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, especially like you come back out fresh and you're just ready to do it, and you're not kind of like grown, like just going like, oh, I gotta go to work again, you know? Like just being able to just have that fresh perspective, just be able to kind of just like soak
And
it.
giving yourself the grace to take that time too. Like, it's okay if you need to take a day off or take an afternoon off, and like no one's gonna place like clients. Who cares?
Hmm.
They're not the one. I always joke like they're not the one running the business at the end of the day, anyways. So take that
Yeah,
time that you need, because that we all deserve it. It's all important to us.
yeah, no, it's no, definitely, no, it's definitely just like being able to just make the time, or even just like if there's something I really want to do in like several weeks, I will literally put in my calendar and just be like hey, hey, sorry, I'm not gonna be around because my schedule said I have this already, so
Yep.
I'll
Set a
put you,
boundary.
yeah, I'll work with you. I'll schedule you either before or I'll schedule you after that thing. So, but yeah, no, I mean, just being able to kind of have like this kind of talk is always good because somewhere in some shape or form, there's somebody relating to this topic, and I hope for those who are listening that this is helpful because trust me, you're not alone. People, there are some of us are struggling, some of us are doing really well, and some of us, just have a hard time asking for help. Sometimes, some of us just don't have like a hobby or just a thing to kind of do your thing, but like you don't have to figure it out like overnight. It's just being able to kind of slowly work on it and to just carve the time you need and just being able to kind of reach out to the one friend or just sometimes just sometimes maybe finding a pillow to scream into, and then and then talking, then finding some friends to talk to, be really good with that. But yeah, I mean, this conversation is really good because it's like, we don't really talk about it. It's not really talked about. Everyone just everyone just talks about like how great life is, which is great, but it's okay to it's okay to be honest. Like, it's okay to be honest. It's okay, you, especially around the people that is gonna help you help you out. Like, and again, if you got to find the simplest of things to bring you peace, like my other thing is like I love watching hummingbirds, and I literally am trying to get like I'm trying to set up my window where like I put like two hummingbird feeders out there, and I've tried to get a fountain, and then the fountain didn't work. But like just being able to kind of have it where I can watch hummingbirds, and that bring me peace. Like that helps me deal. That helps to reduce my stress of just watching those, you know. But I don't know where I was getting with this, but like I just, but like hummingbirds bring me joy. So like that definitely just
One thing a day that makes you smile and see where that takes you, right? Like,
yeah,
find one small thing every single day that makes you smile, and it's amazing what that'll do.
yep. So, but yeah, no, I mean this is great, and I really appreciate this talk. I think it was a good one, and hopefully someone will listen and just be like feel better about themselves. So
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
yeah, so like I mean for especially like just for you, just like if people were like in your area or if like, there was someone that wanted to learn from you, do you have any like courses? Do you have any like anything you would like to promote or like a shout out or anything?
if anyone ever wants to get a hold of me, I'm more than happy. You can find me on Facebook or you can email me. I can give Kevin my direct email and he can share it. Really, I'm here to support anybody that wants any help in the canine industry. More than happy to be a part of anyone's journey by mentoring or coaching or just talking. I'm always here.
Awesome, awesome, love it. So yeah, so I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna wrap it up with Laura after I cut the live stream. But I hope anyone that listening in, hopefully you guys enjoy it, and yeah, you guys have a good rest of your Monday, and then I will talk to y'all later. So have a good one, guys.